guys, welcome back to tonight's magazine night. It's Friday night, so I figured I'd do a magazine. This one is going to be December 1985 BMX action. This one is a really cool one. The reason I like this one, it's got the World Championships in this one that were in Whistler, Canada. And I have some of that race footage on some previous videos. Really cool stuff. And I actually recorded that race off of ESPN. I remember, and I don't know, I think I actually still have it on VHS, so I'm anxious to get into this one. So inside this magazine, we got, like I said, Racing World's Best Invade Canada, gnarly thrashing section. We got freestyle how-to ramp trick exposed, testing GT's Econoqual Mach 1. I remember the Mach 1. And, oh yeah, it was really cool because I was watching the Rad BMX builds guy, Sean, and he just built a GT Mach 1 tribute for Tommy Brackens. It's a really cool bike. Maybe I'll try to add the picture to the video. And then again, this is a 10-year anniversary magazine. This is a really nice magazine. And you know what? It's in super good condition as far as all the magazines I've reviewed. So definitely looking forward to getting this one. Okay, guys, so I'll see you in there. We'll go into this one. Looking forward to it. Have a good one. Who's on the, let's see who's on the cover tonight, guys. We have... It doesn't say on the magazine itself, so let's go on the cover. If you live outside of Sacramento, California, you probably don't know this guy, but take our word for it, he's a legend. Thrasher Supreme Don McCowan, buzz bombing at the U-Hills, photo by Wendy. And of course, Wendy's stuff is great, man. She learned well from Oz. Look at this shot. This is a great rendering here. I love it. We already looked at the cover already. We know what's going on. This is just a great shot. Outside of Sacramento, so I'm not too far from Sacramento. I'm kind of wondering if this place even exists anymore. But this is a great cover. And like I said at the intro, the condition of the magazine is dang near flawless, especially considering how old it is. Let's roll. All right. Inside the cover, we've got a Haro ad. We're going to start it off, Haro Freestyle ad. All the Haro Freestyle frames right here. And I was looking at a Torker video on YouTube from Bill Ryan over at Supercross. And I was checking out, because I know that Torker made the Haros, but I was looking at the newest Torker that they just released. All chrome moly with modern geometry. You can put the V-brakes on there, and it's super nice. I was looking at it going, man, actually, I wouldn't mind having one of those. I was thinking about it heavily. I went on their website. Unfortunately, all they had is the Pro XXL remaining, and I'm not tall enough for that. That one XXL is just, the bike's just too long for me, but definitely would be looking into that later. So what do we got going on here? We got some dirt, and then we have local thrashing. We have testing the GT Mach 1, and the Racing Kuwahara Canada Cup, and the IBMXF World Championships of Whistler, British Columbia. Like I said, that's a great race to review and watch. I've got plenty of footage on previous videos. Definitely recommend going back and taking a look at that. This looks like Rick Palmer right here from what I can tell from this photo. We got a drawing contest, and this must be somebody's drawing. That's not too bad. Not too bad. It's probably as good as I could probably draw. But I can tell you what, I can trace the hell out of stuff. We got outtakes here, and then let's move on. We got the System 2000 Odyssey grips. I'm sorry, Odyssey grips. Odyssey brake system. I mentioned before I had this caliper before. Never had this handle or this lever. It's a pretty cool brake setup though. We got the flight pads here, and then of course the seat covers with a little grid action. I like the color combinations and the donuts. Those look pretty good. These grips look a little bit hard, but overall pretty nice looking setup there. Let's keep on moving, guys. Oh, nice one. We got the GT offers you the world on the GT World Tour freestyle bikes. And this must be Eddie Fiola right here. I mean, you know, I just read that he's just turned 60 years old, and he's still riding. And I mean, BMX is the fountain of youth. I've mentioned that before. He took a hard spill though over at the Dirty Fest. They were doing a little freestyle show, and I watched the video. It was almost hard to watch because he was on a little kick turn ramp. You can see he was losing his balance and coming off the edge of the ramp, and he just took a header. I was like, oh my God, you know, it was like, you don't want to see our heroes go down. Really, I don't want to see anybody fall. But that was a pretty bad crash, but he's okay. All right, let's keep on moving. These are all nice looking bikes. And oh, look at this shot. What do we got? Schwinn Predator getting into the freestyle game. I'm not sure what's going on with the ballerina action, but this is a great shot. I don't know who the writer is here, but this is a really cool ad. I like the colors on it. You can see the pastel colors are starting to show up now as we're now in the mid-80s. Not so much the neon, but the bikes are definitely more colorful. It's like they're getting away from the chrome and putting a lot of color in the bikes. And I love the BMX Action jersey, by the way. That's awesome. Let's go to the next page. We got dirt, and it looks like here's the BMX Action freestyle team. And then we've got Dyno products right here. GT really had their hands on everything. You know, with GT, Dyno, Robinson, Powerlite, Auburn. I mean, they really just had a stranglehold on the whole BMX market, and they dominated, in my opinion, the freestyle side of it, because, you know, they had some of the greatest freestyle riders, you know, running on GT. Plus, you know, you got to think Redline had RL Osborne, and Mongoose had some great riders. Like I said, I don't follow a lot of freestyle, but I know a lot of the biggest names were on these biggest companies. All right, let's keep on going. Speaking of which, here's a great ad. So this is a Redline ad, and of course you got RL in here doing his thing. I love these Haro pants that he's wearing. I don't know if it matches the the Redline jersey, but who cares? It actually looks really cool. It's just that splash of color needed. And again, it's the pastel colors. You can see this is kind of like a pink frame, but it looks really, really cool. And, you know, pretty much RL made everything look great anyway. If you're going to sponsor a freestyle rider, I mean, you couldn't go wrong with bringing RL on, because he marketed everything so well. All right, let's keep going. Oh, here we go. This is the U-Hills, Sacramento, California. Show them foreigners that us NorCal boys can get rad too. This is a great article here, Local Thrashing. Can this dude fly, or can this dude fly? 16-year-old Boss Pro Darren Bonilla was probably the most insane dude at the U-Hills session. And this guy ain't too shabby on the ground either. He's getting rad. Look at that. He's getting all crossed up, tabletop. That's a great shot there. Who's this? This guy is leading the force at the U-Hills. Jeff Bernard had some of the most dialed, laid over one-footers that we'd ever seen. Kirk Crisco, watch out. You know, that's crazy. The first time, and this is a true story, the first time I've ever seen anybody really get rad wasn't so much at a BMX track. It was at local thrashing areas like this, or trails, or whatever you want to call them. Oops, sorry, I knocked the camera down. I'm going to try to zoom out a little bit, because this is a little too close for comfort. There we go. That's a little bit better. So anyway, the first time I saw anybody really get rad was at a local thrashing area. And I remember I was about 12 years old, and we were sitting on what would be considered like a tabletop. And all the riders kind of sat right here. And then some of the older guys would come down a section and hit it and kind of fly over the whole section. It was the first time I've ever seen somebody seriously catch air right in front of me. And I was like amazed how graceful it looked and how athletic and beautiful it looked to me. And it still does today. And I remember there was this one guy in particular, I don't know his last name. His name was Bob, and he can get rad. And the guy was probably 16, 17, so he was much older than I was at the time. He was riding a Patterson, and I remember his Patterson was all chromed out. And he was coming down, he hit this section, and he told everybody, I'm going to lock up my wheel this time. So he hit the brakes while it was in the air. So you can hear his wheels spinning, and the minute he launched, he grabbed his brake, and it just got silent. And then he just kicked it out completely sideways, and then brought it back down. It was one of the raddest things I've ever seen, and it is a very, very simple thing, just to lock up the wheel, but it looked really, really cool. All right, let's keep on going. Oh, wow, these guys were catching some serious air. Who's this one? Johnny O'Mara style, Jeff Bernard, blithely sailing over the chasm. This is the main jump, giving you two options for the launch. Jeff demonstrates the first one, take off from that little mound back there and glide 15 feet before landing at the bottom of the U. That's nuts. The weak-hearted use the closer lip. Jeff's almost above the picture, which still leaves you 5 feet before touchdown. We're talking some serious long-distance doubles. That is a big jump, because the lip is back here, and you can see he's launched. And he's about to land down here. That's pretty cool. Ooh, look at this shot. This is a great shot here. Classic styling by another NorCal pro, Jerry Jones. This guy is the Spaz of Sacramento. Now, I've seen Jerry Jones racing for Boss in one of my videos. I think it was the 86, 80, might have been 85 or 86 Grand Nationals. I saw him racing A Pro. I'm not sure about the year, but he's in some of my videos. He's really, really fast. Let's keep on going. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow. I thought that was D.D. Leone at first. Kind of looks familiar, doesn't he? Isn't that the one-time factory Skyway Pro Bob Medrano? Sure is. He's always been a killer jumper, so it's no surprise that he drives 2 hours from his home to practice at the U. Wow, Bob Medrano was so rad. Plus factory Skyway, you got to love that. Look at this sequence right here. This is going to be kind of hard to see because it's black and white, but he's starting right here, picking up. He's about to get crossed up. He's at his peak right here as he's coming out of the cross up, and then perfect backside. That looks like a really, really great shot. Man, that place looks so rad. Wow, let's keep on going. Wow, check out Action BMX company here. They got a whole 2-page ad. These grips look really cool. I was just talking about the GT Mach 1 tribute build from Rad BMX Builds. Sean, he put these grips on the bike. I recognize those right away. And here's your Skyway Tough wheels. Ooh, by the way, Planet BMX had an ad on Facebook where they were saying they got the Skyway Graphites with the flange for $349, and I put on there I want a set, so I'm probably going to order some. You know, it's weird because I hate spending a lot of money on parts, but I've seen graphites go $500, so I'm like, I probably should grab those now and stop being cheap because I've always wanted a set. Let's go to the next page. Winsome custom cranks. Those are pretty cool. Never heard of Winsome. And then we have Zap pads and Greg Hill, a couple of class acts, and then we got Greg full GHP gear sitting on a Porsche 911. That's really, really cool. I love the Zap pads. I've mentioned many times. I thought they were really cool looking pads. Look at the 09 plate, guys. That's one of my favorite plates. I went on the 09 website, and they still have this moto control plate that you can get, the original one, and the larger numbers that go on it. And I think for 2 numbers and the plate, it was like $40, so I'll probably go back and order one of those too. I'm going to put it on my Skyway. But I have a modern race plate on there right now, and I try to keep the Skyway kind of modern looking, so I wasn't too sure about it, but I don't know. Sometimes you got to throw caution at the wind. We got Soul Gripping Performance by the GX Gripper from Shimano. And then, of course, we have the POTS mod situation here for the Skyway Recreation. We build them. Look at all the pastels, guys. I'm telling you, that was like the rage. It's weird how you see trends in these magazines, and BMX is definitely no stranger of that. Everything is trend. And right now, the trend is when you watch BMX racing, it's all spandex almost, man. Their uniforms are skin tight. The seats are slammed down. The bikes look totally futuristic. So it's, you know, this is the trend that we're in right now. That's what's going on. You know, funny story. I remember I was talking to my buddy Mike, and I might have shared this story before. It was around this time, 85, 86. And, you know, he had a Patterson, I had a Skyway. And I remember we were looking at our bikes going, man, they can't really make bikes any better than this. This is probably as good as they're going to get. I remember him saying that. He goes, what else can they do to make the bikes better? And little, you know, God rest your soul, Mike. Rest in peace, my man. Bikes have definitely have improved. And when you compare a bike from the 80s to a bike from today, there's a very significant difference. It's almost mind-boggling how much the bikes have improved. But to me, a BMX bike is a BMX bike. All right, let's go. Here we go, the GT Mach 1. Here's the baby blue bike here that I was talking about for Rad BMX Builds. This is the tribute bike. So that's pretty awesome to actually run into this today. And then we have, who's doing this riding here today? Sunny, 100% chance of GT Factory riders falling from the sky. Rob Fade and Kevin Hull getting busy. You got to love the goggles, the Amy goggles with the open face helmet. This was one of my favorite looks, running the goggles with no mask. Just that, I always loved that look. Very, very cool. Let's keep moving. Oh, look at this shot. Wow, look at both of these shots. These are definitely poster-worthy shots. We got Rob Fade here got the knee coming out. This is perfect positioning coming out of that berm. You can see the roost coming out behind him. And then remember, he's on a stock GT Mach 1, and he looks pretty comfortable on it. Looks like they put a laid-back seat post on it to give him a little bit of space. And then we got, is this Mad Dog right here? No, it's Dave Cullinan. Look at that. He's clicking like a Leary on that thing. Remember, stock, Mach 1. I'm pretty sure that seat post doesn't go on the bike. But other than that, that's pretty sick. They had to give these guys a little bit of room. They're both big guys. Look how factory he looks with that Bell helmet and the Oakley sticker on there, the Oakley mask. Very, very factory. And I love the bands with no socks. That's pretty sick. All right, let's keep on going, guys. These are two great, great shots, by the way. Look at the black and white photo. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Oh, guys, knocking the camera down. I got too excited. Here, let's tighten this up a little bit. There we go. All right, so we got Tommy Brackens here. Looks like Rob Fade. And then who's in the middle? Let's see. Does it say? Let's see. We got Fade, Brackens, and the Sheepdog. This is a perfect shot. I just saw a promo video for Chase Bicycles. You got Rob, I mean, you had the Chase boys on there, and they're all riding together on a track. I think there was like 4 of them, and it looked just like this. But it's weird. I wish I can kind of compare this. If this was on video, that would be amazing to put those side by side. All right, let's get going here. This is just a great, great test. The shots in here are incredible. Look at this one. I can tell right away that's Sheepdog based on his body language on the bike. And we got Fade here. That's really, really cool. Jeff Schofield was 12 years old. He was racing factory GT. Deanna Edwards at the time was 15. I believe she passed away. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. And then we have Sheepdog. He was 19 years old. Kevin Hull. Rob Fade was 25 years old, still racing. And then, of course, we have Tommy Brackens at 24. Tommy was the man in the early to mid 80s. He was definitely the man. This is a great shot of Tommy laying on the ground. Great, great shot. This is really well done. Really well done. Here's the bike itself. So the bike went for $229, and you can't really shake a stick at that when you see the photos and you see the bike's capabilities, how it handled in the air, how it handled on the track, and the basic bike itself was well put together for $229. You get a lot of bike for $229. Now here's the negative. The bike itself complete is 25 pounds. That's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy for a BMX bike. Now I have my GHP, which I consider my modern bike, which is really not even that modern. But that bike, when they weighed it, after I had it put together for me over at Robbie's Bike Shop, I believe it was 22 pounds, 22 or 23 pounds. This one's 25, so it's not much difference. A couple things you can do on it to lighten it up. Of course, you could lose the front brakes, go to a lighter brake, take off the one-piece cranks, go to a lighter crank set. That would definitely make a difference. But overall, it's just a well put together bike. I like it. We got the Browning 2-speed here. Make the Browning Revolution yours for Christmas. Browning 2-speed. I think Daryl Young is the only one I remember mainstream rider that ran this system. I would never consider having gears on my bike, but I can see how it was kind of ahead of its time. I don't think it obviously didn't become a thing because we're still on fixed gears. Let's go to the next page. Oh, possibly my favorite sunglasses of all time. These Cat Eyes Varnays. Man, I loved these sunglasses. I must have went through a dozen of these. Most of them were knockoffs. I did have 2 pairs of real Varnays. But they were pretty expensive, but I didn't care because I loved, your sunglasses said Varnay right there on the arm, yeah, you were pretty freaking cool in high school if you had really real Varnays. I wonder if these could ever make a comeback. These were really cool sunglasses. I loved them. We got Maxed Out by Mongoose. Look at these GTs. Look at these Mongooses, Pro Classes. Those are really cool. Love the colored tires. Love it. I used to run colored tires when I was a younger guy. I figured between 12, 13, 14, I'd run colored tires, and then about 15 years old, I decided I wanted to look like the pros. You know, I always try to emulate what I saw in the magazine. I would try to emulate it, and none of the pros raced colored tires, so I was all black Comp 3s after that. But it's funny how, like I was saying earlier, how we follow trends, and you're watching some of the guys in the magazine that are considered the best in the world, and all you wanted to do was look like them. So I tried to use the gear they rode, the helmets they rode, face masks, goggles, jofas. Tried to do bike setups virtually the same. As a matter of fact, one thing I remember specifically is I remember seeing a picture of Greg Hill, and he was on GT at the time. And Greg had 2 GT stickers on his seat post, one on top of the, one right above the other one. And I saw that. I thought that was so cool. I immediately bought 2 GT stickers and put them on my seat post so I can have the same look that Greg did. That's just how much we idolize these guys. We try to make everything look like what they were doing. What do we got here? Totally Rad clothing for casual and sportswear. That's the company was Totally Rad. Wonder what happened to these guys. You look at stuff like this and you wonder, what happened? Did you just disappear over time? We got the Hutch ad here, and again, this is a Hutch freestyle ad, which normally you see a lot of their race-driven stuff, but back in the mid '80s, freestyle was really the rage. As you can see from page to page, it's all freestyle. Great shot of Martin here on the teachers. Look at the flex on the back wheel of that GT mag style wheel. It's not a Skyway Tough wheel, it's a GT's, but look at the flex on it. That's crazy. This is a great shot, by the way. Great shot. I wonder how they did this, if this was something that they just added later after they did the photo, because yeah, I don't see that actually happening. Look at the AFA t-shirt though. That's really cool. What do we got here? Pete Lonkerovich is hooking up with Haro's new race team for 1986. Haro sure doesn't mess around when it comes to signing hot talent, and that was a big deal to see. Pete Lonkerovich at the time was pretty much dominating, so to see him jump from CW onto Haro, and they got Mike King too, it was a really bold move for Haro at the time. And it worked, because I bought a Haro, and I'm sure a lot of other people did too, because they were some of the greatest races were on there. Oh, wow, look at this ad. This is amazing. We got the Edsel here, and again, pastel color. Oh man, guys, I was probably about 10 minutes past this page. I ran out of memory on my phone, so I'm gonna have to circle back and start from here again. So anyway, let's talk about this photo. So this photo, what I was gonna mention is, back in '85, I was probably a sophomore in high school, and we had to write a short story. I remember in my English class, and I cut this photo out specifically, and it was in my magazine, not my cousin's, because I loved this photo so much. And I wrote an entire short story of what it would be like if I was Harry Larry, I was a pro, and what I was experiencing in this race photo. And I talked about the nervousness on the gate, the butterflies that I would experience on the gate. I talked about the difficulty balancing when you're nervous, because you shake when you're nervous. I talked about the way the hay bales smelled, how the wet dirt would smell, how the cold air hitting my face would feel. I went really into a lot of detail, how your heart starts beating really fast, how your adrenaline kicks in. And I remember specifically talking about how you're really nervous, but as soon as the gate drops, the nerves completely disappear, which is absolutely correct. It was a great short story. I really wish I would have kept that. But anyway, going back to the photo, excellent photo. This is one of my favorite ones. You got Brian Patterson back here and Himmler back there. It's a great shot. And here's the track itself. This is the overall view of the track. Now, this would have been World Championship Day, because you can see the sun shines out and it's dry. But on the Kurhara Cup Day, it was raining. So these guys were basically racing in the mud, racing in the rain. And IBMXF was not going to stop the World Championship race, which is a lot of flack that what's happening right now with the UCI, because UCI stopped the World Championships because of weather. And these guys rolled. They didn't care how much it was going to rain. They were not going to stop that race. There was just so many people there. There was a great freestyle show that was on the opening credits of the race video. Well, maybe not the opening credits. I think it was probably midway through the video. There was some skateboarders and some freestylers. They put on a great show. And wow, okay, let's stop here for a second. Now, this is this is how much I've watched this race. Here we go, we got Darwin Griffin, and I mentioned he was racing with Skyway Tough Wheel graphites, and here he is right here doing it. He's got the old school Haro Tech 2 number plate on. This is a really cool shot, and he's racing in basketball shoes and jeans, and it didn't matter because this dude was just a monster. Jameson Hendler here on factory Schwinn, Carl Butler over here on factory free agent. I cannot identify the rider in the background, but this is just a great shot. Look at the crowd looming in the background. And again, look at the surface of the track. This is BMX racing, guys. So the track is not soil tacked. It's not completely smooth. It's got ruts. It's got bumps. It's got different lines. And the longer that these guys go over and over the track, the more the lines could actually be manipulated and changed based on weather conditions. This was BMX racing, so much, much different than what we're experiencing today, because tracks are just works of art. They're super glass and smooth. Yeah, you can see it just wasn't the story back then. We got Greg Hill over here sliding out, and he wins the Pro Cruiser title, World Championship Pro Cruiser title later. I think he actually wins right after this shot, and I need to go back and watch that because that's one of the things I don't remember. Oh, this is a great shot of Mike King. This was during his main event, too. He knocked this one out. Look at the style by King. He did this so quick. In the race, you see him click this style. It's like instant. He's just like, bam, and brings it right back. Such a great, great shot. This race has some of the greatest photos I've seen in a BMX Action magazine. I'm just going to put it out there. This is just really, really well done. Love to see more of the color photos, but great. Here's John Anderson, factory redline. He was doing really, really great too. I saw a lot of footage of him. Gary Ellis, obviously he won the world title. And then let's take a look at some of the results. So on the Canada Kuwahara Cup, as I mentioned, Harry Larry won that. Eddie King, Greg Hill got third, Scott Clark fourth, Eric Roop fifth. Andy Ruffle was in there with the sixth from the UK. He's the only foreign rider. Mike Polson with the seventh, and then Stu Thompson with the eighth. But, you know, Stu did break his collarbone. So B-Pro, Richard Fleming won it with Sean, looks like, Carnegie. And then Ron House picked up the third Pro Cruiser. Scott Clark won Pro Cruiser with Ken Amon and Rod Beckering. That was really cool. For the World Championships, Gary Ellis wins the World Championship with Brian Patterson picking up second, Harry Larry picking up the third. Harry was looking unbeatable, so to get an ace and a third, great weekend for Harry. Eric Roop picked up fourth, Richie Anderson with the fifth, Scott Clark with sixth, Mike Polson seventh, and then Richard Fleming brought it up with eighth. And then, of course, Pro Cruiser, Greg Hill wins the Pro Cruiser class. Ron House, Scott Clark, Jamie Vince from the UK, Brian Patterson, Eric Roop, Richie Anderson, and Rod Beckering. And that's your World Championships in 1985. One of my favorite magazines so far, guys. We got the bike gallery here. And then, of course, we have, check out Woody Itzin. Yeah, look at all Miami Vice here. That's a great shot. And then Fred, what was it? Fred Youngblood? Is that what his name was? I can't remember, guys. Or just Fred Blood? Fred Blood. That's a great shot of Fred right there, too. Love these grips. Beautiful. Oh, check out Diz. CW ad here. Pretty cool. CW trying to compete with Diamondback with this lot, but, you know, Diamondback's adds just a little bit more over the top, but this is really, really cool. Frankfurt BMX. We're getting close to the end, guys. We got the no corners cut. Look at this rendering of this GHP right here. Whoever drew this, that's beautiful. Well done. Rockville BMX, the Tioga ad, and then what do we have here? Season's greetings, holiday order form. Oh, you can order some products from Midwest National BMX. That's all this is. This is just one big page ad for Midwest BMX. That's really well done. And oh yeah, here we go, the drawing contest. I used to love looking at these when I was a kid. First place was from Alan Tam from Chino, California, the Schwinn Nighthawk. That is beautiful. Look at that drawing. Wow, he definitely deserved to win. Look at the shadowing on that. That is amazing. Wow, great rendering. Here's second place, the Aerial Burial, his last blast. This was drawn by Mark McKee out of San Rafael, California. He won a CW Z3000 for his effort, and that's a great shot. What was first place, by the way? What did the first place winner win? Oh, he won the Schwinn Nighthawk. That's what that meant. Okay. And then there's third place. Ooh, wow, this is definitely, boy, that's serious 80s right there. That was a three-way tie for third. Randy Herget out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, won the Skyway frame and fork for this drawing. And then we had this is like a comic strip. And this is really cool. It was drawn by Jim Allen out of Moline, Illinois. He won some Tough Wheels and tires for this drawing. And then here's your third place. Russ Van Dyne out of Upland, Indiana. He won the cranks, brakes, bars, seat posts, and seat clamp, pedals, grips, and necks. We won a bunch of parts. And he's got a bunch of cats doing some freestyle here. That is freaking awesome. Wow, this is really, really cool. Gosh, these guys are very, very talented. Great work, guys. Ooh, look at all these. We got some honorable mentions. Look at this drawing right here. This one was by address unknown, but it's P, first initial P, last name Buyer. That's a great drawing. This is from Harold Smith. Look at this little drawing. This is awesome. Raleigh, North Carolina. This looks like this guy likes his graffiti artwork, but this is super awesome. The Other Mag Cup. This is from Ellie Gessner out of New York, New York. That's a great drawing. Wow. Oh, look at this one. Advertising Department Trophy went to Leighton C. Hubel out of Tucson, Arizona. And that's awesome. It's bunny hopping over a 4x4, a monster truck. And then we have Don Boy Metal Alberto. He's got the BMX action van with all the bikes on top. Whoa, look at this one. This is best late entry. And this came from, who did this? It just says, it doesn't say who drew it. Oh my God. That is a great shot. Oh, man, I'm really sorry. I don't see your name, but this is like a Mad Max rendering, which is really cool because there's a new Mad Max movie out. So that's kind of ironic that I saw that. And then we got Jeff Wynn. He got the Gork Prize with the Rambo shot here. That's, man, these are just some straight artists right here. First Class BMX. The Burton Experience with the snowboard. And now we're just getting into the ads. Hank and Frank. And then here's the BMX Action subscription portion. Rockville BMX again. Oh, here's your GT ad for your race equipment. This one's really cool. There's the Mach 1 that we've been talking about pretty much the entire magazine here today. This is a great ad. Haro with the mountain bike. Skate Central. Let's keep on going. Oh, this is a great shot. Look at that one. Wow. This looks like it was done on a computer, though. Oh, yeah, this is computer art. Look at this. So I had a Macintosh, an Apple Macintosh. It was the first, basically, Apple Macintosh that ever came out. And this basically is what the graphics look like when you were... But I could, of course, I couldn't draw anything near as cool as this. But these are really, really cool. Really, really cool. And, guys, we did it. We did it. Comp 3 ad as usual. That's BMX Action, December 1985. Sorry I knocked the camera down a couple times. But anyway, this was a great magazine. I super enjoyed this one, guys. As always, please like and subscribe. I'll get this one edited up tonight. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.
I got it. At first it was hard. Nobody believed me. Ever since then, I'm making it clear. This my year. This my year. I hustle in the dark with a bright my head. Get the bright idea.